and the omnibus. So I was forced into the Archers when I was a child. And look, it's come back to bite me later on. I'm awash with this stuff.
The Archers is the world's longest-running radio show, with more than 15,000 episodes broadcast. Despite being a rural flavor show, The Archers is recorded in the heart of...
Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we take a stack of sources and really pull out the key stuff for you. And today, well, we're doing something a bit different, maybe unexpected.
Yeah.
We're diving deep into an audio drama.
That's right, yeah. The Archers. It's quite the institution.
It really is. And honestly, we were kind of surprised by how much insight is packed in there about conflict, human nature, how work and home life, collide.
Yeah, definitely. It's richer than you might think on the surface.
So our mission today for this deep dive, it's really to unpack all that. The conflicts, the motivations, those little aha moments you get from listening closely, basically give you the shortcut to understanding the core tensions without needing decades of catch-up.
Sounds good. Where do we start?
Okay, let's set the scene. Think, like corporate battlefield. Justin Elliott has this plan. Initially, it sounded great, right? A rewilding project.
Yeah, sounds very green, very positive.
Exactly. But then, it suddenly changes.
Yeah.
Or seems to. Now we're talking a massive concrete warehouse and a food storage facility in a vertical farm.
Quite the pivot. A very industrial pivot.
So how did the board take that? What was the immediate sort of gut reaction to this twist?
Well, the tension was instant. You hear Annabelle, right? A big environmental voice on the board. She just flat out calls it ludicrous.
Right from the start.
Yeah. The shift from, green ideals to what looks like straight up commercial gain. It feels like a betrayal to some. And her comment, there's no money in his rewilding vanity project.
Ouch.
Yeah, it really hits at the suspicion. Was the rewilding ever genuine or just like a cover?
And it wasn't just her, was it? The opposition was pretty broad.
Oh, very vocal.
Yeah.
You mentioned Annabelle, then there's Brian, he's the farmer, deeply worried about food security. And you've got Ira, Glenda, Andrew chiming in too.
Brian's argument really stood out to me, calling it totally irresponsible.
Yes. And that line, the future of food security depends on land being kept in farming.
He's really drawn a line in the sand there.
He is. And it's fascinating, actually, how you get these different concerns all pointing at the same proposal. Well, you've got the environmental angle from Annabelle feeling the green promise was broken.
Right.
Then the agricultural side from Brian, worried about losing farmland, national food supply.
Makes sense.
And then you just have general skepticism, maybe about the whole plan's viability or, Justin's real motives behind such a big change.
So like multiple fronts of opposition.
Exactly. Which makes it incredibly hard for Justin to win people over.
So into this mess steps Martin, trying to be the peacekeeper.
Sort of positions himself that way, yeah. He suggests commissioning a feasibility report.
Ah, the classic report.
To look at the financial side suggests it's a way forward.
But Annabelle's not buying it.
Not for a second. Her reaction is just pure cynicism. You mean you've kicked the ball into the long grass?
Basically saying, try delaying this or burying it.
Precisely. Which brings up that big question, doesn't it?
About the report itself.
Yeah. Is it actually meant to find objective truth? Or is it just, a tactic?
Especially with Annabelle worried Justin might line up one of your cronies to write it.
Exactly. A feasibility study can be useful, genuinely clarifying. But in a fight like this, it can easily be a way to stall, or worse, to engineer the answer you want.
So how would you know if it's legit?
Well, you look at who's doing it. Are they independent, truly unbiased, or are they connected to Justin? An internal study or one done by allies is always going to be suspect.
Right, okay. And things don't calm down, they escalate.
Oh, massively.
Justin makes this pretty bold move. Basically invites board members to resign if they can't back him.
Yeah. If you feel unable to come with me, it's quite the ultimatum.
What does that tell you? Is it confidence? Desperation?
It's risky. Shows his frustration, for sure. Maybe a bit of arrogance. Or perhaps he feels he has to push it through. But it also suggests he's maybe not that interested in finding a real compromise anymore.
And Brian certainly doesn't take kindly to it.
Not at all. He calls Justin self-serving, accuses him of not caring about national food security.
And then he drops the bomb.
He does. Tells Justin he's had enough of this nonsense and then resigns the home farm wheat harvest contract.
Wow. That's a big deal, contractually and personally.
Huge. And if you zoom out, think about the bigger picture. Brian's resignation, it really highlights the stakes. It shows that for some people, like Brian, this isn't just business, it's about principles, personal integrity, clashing with what they see as, well, self-interest.
He's willing to walk away from business over it.
Yes. Rather than compromise on something core to his values. It's a powerful moment.
Okay, so that's the corporate clash. High stakes, big principles. But conflict isn't just in boardrooms, is it? Let's shift gears to something more domestic, the personal squeeze.
Right, moving from the farm business to inside the farmhouse almost.
Yeah, we've got Chris and his daughter Martha staying with Neil and his partner, and it sounds, frankly, like chaos.
It does. The descriptions are vivid, shop stuff, boxes everywhere.
Can't get into the summer house, can't see the telly properly.
Neil's partner calls it a junk shop.
So, beyond just being messy, what's the deeper insight here?
Well, it's a great example of how seemingly small things, like physical clutter, stockpiled up everywhere, can genuinely stress relationships. It's not just an inconvenience. It impacts daily life, mood, interactions. You even hear Martha was read a book called Squashing a Squeeze.
Ah, very appropriate title.
Isn't it? It perfectly mirrors that feeling of being physically and emotionally cramped. It shows space, or the lack of it, really matters for well-being.
And Neil's partner. She tries to be polite at first.
Yeah, there's that initial politeness, but eventually the truth comes out.
How bad was it for her?
She confesses it nearly sent me over the edge, calls the whole stay a bit of a nightmare.
Wow. That's quite different from Neil's attitude. He seemed more okay with it.
Or at least trying to be more accommodating, yeah. And that highlights a really common dynamic, doesn't it?
The polite sacrifice versus what's really going on underneath.
Exactly. Someone tries to be nice, bottle up the discomfort, but it builds and builds until pop, breaking point.
So it's not just about being polite, it's about noticing when someone is just being polite.
And maybe having the courage to gently ask if everything's really okay. Because often that breaking point isn't just one thing, it's the buildup of all the unspoken stuff.
So Chris eventually gets the message.
Yeah.
Or figures it out.
Yeah, he realizes the strain they're causing and decides to find somewhere else, maybe a short-term let.
Which must be a relief for Neil's partner, but also maybe awkward.
It's described as bittersweet, maybe. She's over the moon about getting the space back, already planning where to put more stock.
Practicality's winning out.
It seems so. And it raises that question, how often do practical needs like just needing space to breathe override emotional ties, at least temporarily, leading to decisions that are tough, but, necessary for everyone's sanity?
A difficult but needed change of scenery.
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay, and there's one more layer here, isn't there? Something personal that might even connect back to Brian in the boardroom.
Ah, yes. This other undercurrent of tension.
We hear about this business with George and Amber and your Nana Ivy's ring.
A family heirloom dispute.
And it's apparently really getting her down, talking about Brian's mom here. And George, whoever he is, behaved like a right little.
Yeah, meaning badly, childishly, implying some real bad feeling there.
So how does this connect?
Well, think about Brian's intense reaction in that board meeting. His fury at Justin, calling him self-serving, walking away from the contract.
Yeah.
Could that intensity be fueled not just by the warehouse plan, but also by this background radiation of family stress, this feeling of unfairness maybe linked to the ring incident?
Ah, so personal grievances leading into professional reactions.
It's entirely possible. It's a potent reminder that we don't just leave our personal lives at the door, What happens at home or with family can absolutely color how we react at work, especially when issues of fairness or principle come up.
That makes a lot of sense. We're not compartmentalized robots.
Not at all.
Okay, so let's try and bring this all together. We dove into this audio drama.
Unexpectedly revealing.
Yeah, and found these two big strands. One, this high-stakes corporate battle. Rewilding becomes warehouses, principles clash with profit, ends in a resignation.
Big drama.
And two, this really intimate domestic drama. A temporary living situation creating chaos, straining politeness, forcing a difficult move for the sake of space and sanity.
Smaller scale, but just as intense in its own way.
So the aha moments for you listening to this, I think it's seeing how connected these worlds can be. How personal feelings, stuff happening at home, unresolved arguments like that ring can secretly fuel the fire in professional disagreements.
Brian's anger might have deeper roots.
Exactly. And how seemingly small domestic pressures like that junk shop house can build into major stress, forcing big practical decisions.
Yeah, the need for space becomes paramount.
So the final thought to leave you with is this. When you see a situation with really strong opposing views, maybe at work, maybe somewhere else, how much do you think about the hidden stuff? The personal baggage, the pressures at home that might be driving those arguments, behind the scenes?
Good question. And maybe also think about those coping mechanisms we saw, the feasibility study, or the change of scenery. How often are those genuine solutions versus just ways to delay, deflect, or maybe to survive a complex conflict, for better or sometimes for worse?
Lots to chew on there. Join us next time for another deep dive.
So, what are you doing now?
Just getting ready for the next episode. Just moving mics around.
So, what do you do?
I do the spot effects on the arches. Any
Are you what we call Foley then?
Kind of. Yep.
Okay. And these are all part of the paraphernalia of production.
Yep. That's the ball bar.
This one.
Yep. That's.
Haley so wanted to be in their own place when their baby came. It's due in 2 months. Not much chance of that now. No. I mean, it would have been a stretch for them financially, mind, but I just wish there was something practical I could do to help them, Caroline.
I think The Archers has had this immense popularity over the years, basically because it has always very accurately reflected the reality of life and living in a rural community at whatever